we lose God's glory with this little action. When we talk about smoking, we talk about one organ comes to our body, which is our lungs. And today, I will try to tell us few words about the lungs. If you can see, we have the lungs. The lungs are a pair of organs located in the thoracic cavity. We have left and the right lungs. The right lungs has 3 lobes, and the left have 2 lobes. If you look at it very well, you find that the right lungs is a little bit bigger than the left lung. I like to ask questions. Any idea why the left lung is smaller than the right lungs? Because the heart is on the left. Beautiful. The left lung is a little bit smaller. If you look at it very well, you see a space there. That is where the heart is located. So the left lung is a little bit smaller than the right lung. And we can see the structure that we need for respiration. Example, the trachea, the bronchi, and the bronchioles. These are small tubes-like structure where when we breathe in, oxygen flows through this structure to our lungs. And that is where exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide takes place. Our cells need oxygen to function. As humans, every cell and tissue in our body function with oxygen. So oxygen as a gas is very, very important to our body. So I'm just trying to give a general idea of how the lungs function. So when we breathe in oxygen, if you look at this structure here, is a little more detailed. We can see the lungs, and at the end of the lungs there is a tube, a ball-like structure towards the end. It's called the alveoli. This alveoli is where actually the gaseous exchange occurs. Now when we breathe in air with oxygen. The percentage of oxygen in air is about 21%. And so when we breathe in air, our lungs take this oxygen and transport it through the blood vessel, through the blood to every other part of the body, and returns carbon dioxide back to the lung where we breathe out. So this exchange, if you look at it very well, if you look at this scheme, you'll see the blood, and you can see the exchange taking place. Oxygen goes back into our bloodstream while carbon dioxide is taken out. This is the normal function of our body. So anything that disrupts this function can have serious health consequences. Anything that disrupts this function, that is the alveoli. When we breathe in, it expands. It's like a balloon. It expands, and when we breathe out, it collapses. It's a normal function. We breathe in, we breathe out. Nothing too special. But before I begin to talk about why smoking is bad for our health and how it can affect us, I would like to look at why actually do people smoke. It's a very important question. But before that, there is something I would like us to know about. Inside the lung structure, there is a particular cell called the cilia cells. I specifically want to talk about this cilia cell because it's important, and we will know why it's important in the course of this presentation. These cilia cells, what they do is they help to clean the lungs, because the truth is when we breathe in, it's not actually pure. When you walk along the street, you see dust, you breathe in all sorts of substances. The function of this cilia cell, they help us to clear our airways. That is why when you cough, sometimes you see your sputum having dust particles, brownish in color. It's not something to be afraid of. It's the normal defensive mechanism of the human body to clear our lungs and to help us have a clear and good lungs. So it is very, very important. They play a very big role in keeping us healthy. So I want to point out this particular cell. They are called cilia cells, and I'll tell you why it's important and why smoking can damage these cells. So let's see why people smoke. You know, there's a lot of information out there in our society today, a lot of things about smoking. But the question is, why do people smoke? I've actually done a lot of research. I've read about these things, and from my own side, I've not actually seen any advantage of smoking. Maybe there is, but I don't know. But the question is, even with so much awareness, even with so much information out there, people still smoke. So the question is, why do people smoke? One of the answer is to look older. You know, our young men and women today, the teenagers, some of them, they've come to see smoking as a physiological norm in the society. They've grown up to accept it, that it is the way of life. Because when they grow, they see adults, they see their parents smoke. Some of them don't really understand the consequences of this smoking. So what they do is, they feel it is part of growing up, a part of adulthood. So they take up smoking without understanding the implication. And the problem with smoking is, smoke contains a substance called nicotine. Nicotine is a very addictive substance. It functions in our brain. So when we smoke, the level of nicotine in our blood increases. And nicotine binds to our brain, thereby increasing the ability to crave for more cigarettes. Now, when that boy or that girl starts smoking and nicotine begins to grow in his bloodstream, it is difficult to stop, because when he or she tries to stop, the brain craves for more nicotine. We call that rebound syndrome. When you try to stop something, because of the increase of nicotine in your brain, you try to, you become restless, stressed, and you take one more stick. And it is actually easier to start smoking than to stop smoking. So because of that, before they know what is going on, it is too late to stop, and they become smokers. Another reason can be peer pressure. You know, my friends are doing it. Let me just join them now. Let's see how it goes. And before you know what, it's already too late. Some of us is our parents. We adults is very important, because children learn by what they see. Children they are the smartest people on earth. They learn very, very fast. So when you smoke in front of your kids, when adults smoke in front of their kids, it's a prerequisite for smoking. It goes very fast. So it is very, very important how we influence our youth, because the truth is, 90% of people that smoke start at a very young age. I met a patient, and when I was doing anamnesis with this patient, because usually we ask family history and we ask social history. The patient had a very chronic, his lungs were failing. So I asked him, when did you start smoking? And he told me 15. And I was like, I met another one 14. So when you start smoking at 14, you start destroying your lungs at the age of 14. I don't know how long you will continue. So it is very, very important that we educate our children, especially the men and the mothers. We also have to educate our children. It's very, very important. So there are a lot of reasons why people smoke. Some people call it they have emotional imbalance and stuff like this. There are a lot of reasons. We cannot name all of them. But these three, especially when it comes to experimentation, people will experiment. Children, they want to know, how does it feel like to smoke? And when they start, it's already too late. So we, as parents or as adults, will play a big role in determining the future of these kids or teenagers. So let's continue. Today we are going to look at the effects of smoking. How does smoking affect our lives and our health? There are a lot of things smoking can do to the body. But we will try to talk about these 5: cancer, vascular diseases, COPD, fertility disturbances, and embryonic deformities. these five are basically they are more popular, and we see them in our day-to-day life. So while there are millions of things that smoking can do, according to the US statistics, 1 million people die of smoking every year in the United States of America. 1 million people, and there's a projection that in the future 1 billion people will die in this world just because of smoking. It's so saddening to know that little things can result to larger things, especially when it comes to our health. So I'll start by talking about cancer. If you look at cancer of the lungs, we've seen how the lung functions. So now we'll try to see how does smoking affect our lungs. Now, when you smoke, we take in about 40 different carcinogenic substances. Carcinogenic substances are substances that causes cancer. They are called carcinogens. These substances, they cause cancer. Now, in every cigarette, there are more than 40 of them. So when you smoke, you are taking 40 substances that can cause cancer, basically in every part of the body. But one that is popular, or that one that we see every day, is lung cancer. And lung cancer constitutes about 30% of all the cancers in the human body. It means that there is a 30% chance of a cancer becoming lung cancer in the body. And lung cancer